All right, welcome back to ABA exam review and the continuation of our BCBA practice exam series where we're going through another set of questions together and breaking them down. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. Please like and subscribe. Check out behavioranalyststudy.com for all of our study materials, including our combo pack. When you pass your exam, let us know so we can include you in the Sunday shout out. Work hard, study hard. Let's keep going. After 4 weeks of a supervisory relationship, Gary's boss learns that Gary, a behavior analyst, is dating his supervisee. This apparently has been going on for 2 months now. At this point, what is the most ethical thing and the first thing Gary should do? So we have a situation where Gary has been dating his supervisee, which we know is not allowed. We are not allowed to be in a romantic relationship with our supervisees. Gary's boss learns that Gary has been doing this. But the question wants to know, what should Gary do first? So we have Gary's boss, we have Gary. The question is asking about what Gary needs to do immediately. A, self-report him to the ethics board. Well, that is pretty extreme, but even before potentially reporting himself to the board, what does Gary need to do? Well, he has to terminate the supervisory relationship immediately. Gary doesn't have to stop dating the supervisee, but he has to stop being her supervisor. Because even if he was to terminate the relationship, he would still have to wait to be the supervisor. The first thing Gary needs to do is stop all supervision activities. C, terminate the romantic relationship immediately. Gary does not have to do that. He just can't be the supervisor anymore. D, find a different company so that he is not dating a coworker. He can date the coworker. He just can't supervise the coworker. He cannot be in charge of that coworker in a supervisory relationship. So the first thing Gary needs to do is terminate the supervisory relationship. What type of reinforcement schedule would likely create this type of responding if the dashes represent reinforcement and the line represents responses? Kind of an abstract question here. When we think about different rates of responding, our basic reinforcement schedules all produce very unique response rates. For instance, a fixed interval, we're going to have a scallop responding where you've got steady and then a break and then steady and then a break. In this case, we have a situation where the dashes are reinforcement and the line is responding. So you've got a very steady rate of responding over time with some intermittent reinforcement, right? It's not consistent reinforcement, and there's never any break in the responding. So what type of basic reinforcement schedule produces a very consistent rate of responding without a fixed amount of reinforcement? A fixed ratio. Well, the fixed ratio, since the reinforcement is predictable, more or less, you'll typically see a break in responding following reinforcement. Same with a fixed interval. That's what produces the scallop, because after a reinforcement is delivered in a fixed interval, no matter what, you still have to wait a certain amount of time. So if we want to create this steady rate of responding without consistent reinforcement, we're going to use a variable ratio schedule. And a concurrent schedule, of course, has to do with a compound schedule. This is a simple schedule. This is a variable ratio schedule. Spanish instructor teaches a student that the word dog is associated with the picture of a dog, and separately teaches that the picture of a dog is associated with the word perro. Later, without direct teaching, the student correctly identifies that the word dog is also associated with the word perro. What concept is demonstrated here? Stimulus equivalence question, right? Pretty clearly. So what are we going to do with stimulus equivalence? We are going to label our stimuli. We have the word dog, which is A, associated with picture of a dog, which is B. We then have the picture of a dog, B, associated with the word Piro, C. A equals B, B equals C. Later, without direct teaching, the student identifies the word dog, A, is associated with C. So A equals C, because A equals B and B equals C, that's going to be transitivity, right? We have reflexivity, which is A equals A, and symmetry, which is A equals B. Transitivity is going to be A equals C, because A equals B, B equals C. Miss Reynolds is very generous with her staff. Sometimes she will provide a small bonus for her staff after they make 3 sales, and then other times she will provide a small bonus for her staff working an hour extra each week, but she does not reveal what the contingency is in place to her staff. What schedule does this resemble? So we have a situation where we have reinforcement schedules and two are in place, both for working, right? Either making 3 sales, so let's call that an FR3, or working an extra hour. Let's maybe say a FI 1 hour. That could be some sort of ratio schedule. Either way, it's not that important, right? Because we have two different schedules operating for one response, which is working, and there's no clear SD for when the contingency is in place. So these schedules are rotating randomly, they're alternating randomly, and there's no SD. What does that resemble? Well, it's either going to be multiple or mixed. And since there is no clear indicator what schedule is available, it's going to be a mixed schedule. Multiple and mixed are the same, except for the presence of the SD. Concurrent has choice, right? We have two responses that are two separate reinforcement schedules, and the person can choose. And then conjunctive has to do with having a ratio and an interval schedule together, and both must be completed. This is not the case. Each schedule is happening independently, right? But they're rotating for the same behavior, and there's no SD. So it most resembles a mixed schedule. Sam frequently taps his pencil on the desk during class. His teacher normally will tell him to stop, but data show that Sam's behavior is not changing despite the reprimands. This week, the teacher hasn't told Sam anything, and the behavior has started to decrease. What is the likely function based on this information? If you want to quickly make a hypothesis about the function, we have to think about what could be maintaining the behavior. In this case, Sam taps his pencil. Teacher tells him to stop, gives him attention, but Sam's behavior doesn't change. This week, no attention. Sam hasn't been told anything. Behavior's going down. What's happened? Well, Sam's no longer getting the attention of the teacher. So based on that, it's most likely the reinforcer is attention. So the likely function is going to be what? A, tangible. Sam never, according to this information, received a tangible for the behavior. He's never escaped based on this information. It's not automatic because there's the teacher that is involved. And once the teacher withheld attention, Sam's behavior started to go down. Likely function is going to be attention based on this information. Juan is working on relaxation techniques to control his heart rate. During his relaxation sessions, he alternates between deep breathing and muscle relaxation. Juan always feels better and more relaxed at the end of each session, but wonders if the deep breathing influences the muscle relaxation. What is Juan concerned with? So Juan is having an issue where he's using relaxation techniques. He uses two, muscle relaxation, deep breathing. He's always feeling better, right? But he's thinking that the deep breathing influences the muscle relaxation. Now, what is that similar to? What does that resemble? A, having an experimental bias. Well, he's not being biased here. He's actually being very analytic and thinking about the order of each, right? Or the possible interference of one intervention with the other. B, the procedural integrity of the session. It doesn't seem like Juan is implementing anything incorrectly. What he's concerned with is the carryover. He thinks there's possible carryover from the deep breathing to the muscle relaxation, which is kind of altering the true effects of what the muscle relaxation is having on his breathing. And then potential practice effects. Practice effects is getting better at something as you do it more. He's worried that the deep breathing is carrying over to the muscle relaxation. What is Juan concerned with? A possible carryover effect. A soccer coach teaches a player to kick the ball using the inside of their foot for better control. After consistent practice and reinforcement, the player starts using different techniques like kicking with the outside of the foot and using the heel to pass the ball, even though these methods were not directly taught. What concept does this scenario illustrate? Let's finish with a concept question. We have a situation where the player is taught to kick a ball. So we have a stimulus ball, response of kicking with the inside foot. After practice, the player is now kicking with outside foot and using the heel. And so we have a situation where all these untrained responses are occurring in the presence of a single stimulus, what would we call that? Well, we'd call it response generalization or a response induction. Stimulus generalization is the opposite, where we've got a single response in the presence of all these different stimuli. Behavior contrast has to do with multiple schedules in different environments, affecting behavior in different ways, making behavior move in opposite directions. And then shaping is when we are reinforcing approximations. Clearly, no shaping is going on. We just have a simple situation of response generalization or response induction. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe for all of our updates. Check out behavioranalyststudy.com for all of our study materials. When you pass, let us know so we can include you in the Sunday shout out. Work hard, study hard. See you soon.